Hey everybody, back again. World of Tanks ANZ B League has come to a close on Season 3 this week with an amazing showing by the Cairns Comets to take out the championship and secure that promotion into the ANZPL. So we'll get to see Comets back in the Premier League there. With me tonight, I've got PP Power, the captain of the Cairns Comets. Congratulations, so well deserved. How are you guys feeling in the team? I bet you there was much hooting and celebrating on Friday night.
Um, well, thanks for the congratulations. Yeah, it was a bit of it was good. Obviously, the one of the best results you could hope for, almost a clean sweep. The one we did lost, I think we pretty well blame. I blame myself. I played pretty poorly, but I had the team carry me. But yeah, celebrations. It was a bit strange. We were kind of sitting there. It was oh, is that it, or do we have one more, or what's the go? And then they're like, oh no, that's it. Congratulations. Well, oh, okay, well, see us tomorrow. We had all of us are pretty well in the same clan, so we had clan wars on, so we quickly just jumped out and jumped straight into clan wars, and that
No
was
rest for the
that was
wicked.
kind. No, that was kind of it. It was just like, okay, back to business.
That's it. Well, it has been a rather impressive season for you guys. You had one tiebreaker loss and one tiebreaker win, and the rest were wins. So that's I know the season's only 5 rounds long, but that is still an impressive feat considering you started off with two 4-0 wins and then a 3-1 win. So your tiebreaker loss was against the Centurions, and they honestly, considering their first game, they started with four players for that match. They were impressive to make finals. So
Yeah,
it's just been an amazing season for you all round.
yeah. I think I was actually I was pretty relieved when I saw that the Badgers made it through to the finals. So I was very much more intimidated of the Centurions team. We hadn't scrimmed them, and I definitely felt that that roster was one that we were nervous of. I would have loved to have played the Wolverines, being the clanmates again in the finals. That would have been really good. They were our biggest scrim partner, so we were pretty well in each other's heads the entire time. But yeah, I think it was a definitely a favourable outcome for opponents wise for us.
So I was doing a bit of research before this because I was just a bit curious on how the finals have shaped up um, for the B League before. Now, I understand in the first season of the B League there were no finals. It was just whoever finished top one. I think that's correct. But in that season,
Yeah,
you guys finished third out of four. So a little bit of a rocky start, but you kept it up with the consistency in season two, finishing third out of five teams. Then, and of course, this season finishing first out of six teams. So that's a good little result that you're having there, and good to see that growth as the league grew. Like finishing third 3 years in a row might seem like staying the same, but when you factor in that extra team that's come in, I sort of see it more as an improvement. So that upward trajectory is really good to see for you guys. And I just want to know how you're going to sort of build on that as you move into the ANZ Premier League, because there was going to be the playoff game with the Brisbane Bulldogs, who finished last in the Premier League, but unfortunately, I believe that they've just disbanded as a team, so you guys will go straight in. But so do you see that? Well, their downfall is your opportunity, so you get that straight away entry into the Premier League, um, which is going to be a whole new challenge again as well, because I feel like the play between the Premier League and the B League, there's still a bit of a gap. So, are you going to be doing anything between the seasons to sort of strengthen that? Is the whole roster going to be staying together? How's the thinking for that going?
I'm not too sure. We actually haven't really spoken about it much as a team. I'm not sure. I think a few of the guys were looking at retiring or moving to different teams. I know Oreos is pretty big in Valorant at the moment, so I think he might retire. I don't think he's ready to commit that much time. Yeah, roster changes, I'm not too sure. But yeah, I think obviously it's nice to make it. I would have liked to play the relegation games, even if we didn't win. It would have been a nice. Felt like I would have added a bit more satisfaction if we made it into the PL. But yeah, it's definitely going to be a step up above. So I think we might be might have to obviously readjust our expectations of finishing placements rather than expecting to win it the whole thing. We might have to do a season or two of a couple of roster shuffles and pretty much start from scratch again, and hopefully don't get relegated in that meantime.
Well, hopefully if you can keep hold of players like Dark Knight, you'll be able to stick around and get a couple of wins on the board and at least not finish last and avoid that relegation match there. But I did want to talk about Dark Knight because I was going through some stats for him. Not only did he finish second in the overall fantasy league rankings, averaging 68.9 points per game, but in the final series, he was averaging almost 3,000 damage a game, which is crazy.
Yeah, I think there's already been discussions on, taking trades for Dark Knight and he's definitely a PL caliber player. He's definitely probably one of the best players in the league. But yeah, as soon as he was brought into the team, it was, how can I get Dark Knight into a spot to farm? Like, how can I just unlock him on the map? I think we definitely saw it in Cliff. We just stalemated the game and just let Dark Knight, work his reloads, work his angles, make his own plays, and just that represented itself in the fantasy league, in the damage, and yeah, it was definitely building strats and the team around him playing. It was very much a, hey, can you do this job? And I don't care how you do it, as long as it's done. And he would go off on his own merry way and do bucketfuls of damage, and the rest is history.
Yeah, that is absolutely amazing. And like, you talk about trading him off. I hope you get to keep him. And I hope most of the Comets roster, or at least the core of the roster, gets to stay together, because I think the more you play together as a team, even if you're moving up into the higher league, it's just having that familiarity with each other. Because my tongue just decided it didn't want to say that word just then, so I'm not going to try. But yeah, having that awareness of each other is really going to be key, I think, in finding some wins in the Premier League.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying my best to make sure that we can keep him. I'm not too sure what everyone's plans are. I know Zula's just had his firstborn son, so a couple of months ago. So I'm not too sure what his plans are. Obviously, being a dad's a bit more important than some video game tanks. But
yes, as hard as that is to say, that is true.
Yeah, we met the little man the other night for the first time as a clan, so that was pretty good to see. But awesome. I think we're just gonna have to see how the PL season pans out, what their rosters do, and then obviously see how us as a team, what our goal is, and what individual goals are, and then we can go from there.
You never know, you might pick up a couple of players from Brisbane if they're still hanging around, and being another Queensland team right there. So thank you so much for chatting with me again, PP Power. It's been amazing, and I'm so glad that you guys have come through, and can't wait to see you in season 5 of the ANZ Premier League. Yeah,
it's been a pleasure to do these interviews. A lot of the guys tuned in last week to have a look, and they actually didn't realize that the channel existed, but they're all in there. I'm pretty sure they're all giving follows and stuff now as well. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, it's a pleasure, and I hope if it's not me, I hope someone else can do some interviews. It's actually really good to start seeing some more content come out.
Yep. No, I'm sure we'll get a chance to talk to you or one of the lads next season. We try to talk to everybody at least once, so we'll definitely have some Comets representatives there.
Awesome, then. Thank you.
Great. Hello, everybody. The consolidation finals been run. It's happened. It's JT. You are in the grand final with the Skorpions. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels pretty good, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, first time being in a final,
Yeah.
so we're pretty nervous,
Yeah.
but it's pretty good.
You're really nervous? Like, I mean, I know it's the first time you've been there, but you should.
I mean, it was a bit of a joke. I mean, I guess
Oh,
people,
yeah,
of course, people are going to be nervous, I guess, to
Yeah.
some extent, but everyone's going to be nervous. I mean, I guess our guys are probably going to be more nervous than the Sentinels guys, but they're still going to be nervous as well. Like, it's
Yeah.
playing on a stage, so everyone's going to be some degree of nervous.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, it should be good. I think everyone's more excited than worried.
Yeah, that's good. Like, and it's going to be such a big thing by going to Fortress Melbourne, and only the second ANZPL Grand Final to be played at a LAN event. Like, and I'm so looking forward to it. Not just because I can be there, but just the whole spectacle of the event.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, the season 2 finals was like a great atmosphere, great to watch. Even if you don't support the teams playing, like it's, you know, they're playing better than anything else you've seen that season by a long shot. So it's always good to watch.
Yeah.
I'm sure this one will be even bigger and even better.
That's it. So let's jump into it straight away. So let's talk about your map. So you beat the Panthers 4-1 last Friday night. So that was a really good win. I think the only one you lost, I'm trying to remember now, was it time?
Proc
No.
attack.
That's right. Yeah. But what we're going to look at the first game on Mines when you were attacking. So we're picking this up about 3 minutes into the game because there was a lot of posturing at the start. Like yourself and the Object 277 round here has travelled all the way over here to check out what's going on at the one flag. Obviously the Panthers are more set up over there than they were. You spotted that out and come back and headed towards the 2 flag here. So can you talk us through what you were thinking and what was going on in the team comms when you made the journey out over this way and then coming back again?
Yeah, so our Mines attack was pretty standard. We didn't really want to do anything crazy. We just took a normal lineup that we always do and played pretty standard. I mean, we didn't do anything super aggressive at the start. We kind of just drove all our tanks to middle. We sent the CS to Island to spot if they were crossing anything, but they're super slow, so they probably won't. You know, we've practiced against Panthers a lot, and we've played Mines a lot in matches, so there's a lot of like research that they can do on us. So, like, just went over here, not too aggressive. Once we saw the 60s under the hill, or one of the 60s under the hill on the IS4 at K4, we were pretty sure there was going to be a trap where the IS4 and the other 60 were, so that's why we didn't even go down there. Admittedly, I mean, this attack was pretty perfect apart from how terribly I played and bled like half my HP for no reason. But we rotated around. I thought, you know, we could go pressure the 2-cap maybe. We had already crossed the CS by this point. And the CS could drive up on the IS4 uncontested. It's just CS can't really beat the IS4 in a 1v1. You know, full HP versus full HP. It's an IS4. So, but yeah, again, I bled another 2 shots like an idiot. Eventually, my team was like, you know, you should cross the water. I didn't even make the call. I mean, they suggested it, so it was like the perfect play. I went across, we eliminated the IS4, and I think that they actually had a pretty good chance to win if they just stayed where they were with the 4 tanks left. But they kind of, like, we got on the cap. They just needed to, I mean, it's pretty hard, but at least if they drove to the 2-cap, everything can't kill them as easily.
Yeah.
And the S-Conk in their base really threw the game, like, super hard by driving down. Because I just somehow did, like, 4k damage in a 2-7 and penned every shot, even though I played so horribly for the start of the game. So...
Yeah, well, that's sort of some of our other slides here show you. So you talked about like the Aussie and the CS63 come in here against the IS4. You've come round. I think you've even got a shot in across from there, and then you kept rotating round, and eventually, I think it was Goober went down there. The thing to me that was interesting, actually, we'll stay on this slide for a little bit. But the thing to me that was interesting is after the IS4 went down, like I watched the video back, and it's a lot easier to analyze these afterwards, obviously. But the Panthers still had visions of the CS63 going like till about like they've seen him start off and go over here. So as soon as the bells started going off, the caps happening, that says to me that you're up here on your lonesome, and you're 400 HP, I think, at that point. And I thought at the time, like, what the Superconk here could just come up, take that, and then they've got a good position back up there.
Not so much. I mean, the S-Tonk can't really cross to me. There's 2 tanks on the hill that are just going to kill him if he tries to do that. So, but I think that S-Tonk should have just stayed put, and the other 3 can push somewhere. It would have been the best chance. But I mean, hey, they almost won the game anyway with that fiasco at the end.
Yeah, that's what this last slide here is.
Okay.
Oh, it was. What happened to it? Oh, I didn't move these tanks across. But yeah, so it was. So Lightning Man's tried to run away, and he's come down the hill here. He's ended up right on his. He can't move anymore, and I think it was.
So Russian flipped, Aussie crashed, Knight made it down.
Yeah.
And then Knight unflipped Russian, and I got stuck on the rock. Intentionally, by the way. You can see I was actually shooting the guy.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to risk trying to go down there. So
no, not after Aussie committing suicide down that hill there.
It might actually be my fault. I mean, it totally is my fault. We were so... I don't like to be too cocky in games. I mean, Panther is a super good team, but on mines, we were, like, really confident. And we just won mines attack, which is, like, super hard compared to defense. So I was like, guys, we're all laughing, we're happy. I was like, guys, just send it off the cliff. It will be funny. And then once Russian flipped, we were still laughing. And then Aussie crashed, and then everyone's like, And Knight's down the bottom yelling out. He's like, I don't have enough DPM for this. It was pretty chaotic, but it was pretty funny. So it was worth for sure. Good for the viewers.
That's it. I think you deserve to be cocky on mines. Like, I think you've only lost one game on there all season, and I think it was
2, 1 on attack, 1 on defense.
Yeah, 2. Yeah. So yeah, you deserve to be cocky with the amount of times that you played it, and to only have lost twice. That's a really good score line there. And yeah, nothing like a little bit of fun at the end to see it off with. I mean, there was one more game on Muravenka. No, Muravenka.
No, one more game on
Himmelsdorf. Sorry, I've been catching up on some of the B League final stuff as well hurriedly when I got home from work. So I've got half of the Comets Badgers game in my head and half of the Panthers your game in there. But congratulations, you made it to a grand final. Cannot wait to see it. So So I guess like at least 3 of you guys are going to be in Sydney. Are you all making it down together, or do you sort of carpooling?
So not this time. We're all flying this time. I mean, we get the flights paid for. Nice. By Wargaming. So I mean, I think we all booked flights last week after we lost to Sentinels anyway, because we would all go down even if we weren't in the finals. Mm-hmm. So it's just good. You know, we get that paid for. But last time in Season 2 finals, a couple of us did carpool down. So it was fun. It was a long journey, but, you know, some team bonding, I guess you could call it. You know, 9 hours stuck, 10 hours stuck in the car with a bunch of idiots.
I was going to ask how long it was, because, like, I have no concept of how long it takes to drive places over east. Like,
we did it down there in just over 10, which is pretty good pace. We stopped once for like barely any time, and that was pretty much it. An Aussie soldiered through. He was driving down there.
Oh, good on him. Well done. And well, yeah, look, all I can say is congratulations on another great season. Congratulations on making the grand final of the ANZPL Season 4. And we cannot wait to see you face off against the North Sydney Sentinels on the 25th of June. Tickets are available if you want to go along. You don't have, they don't cost anything. You can just get a normal ticket just for entry. It's just ticketed, but there are some other tickets levels that you can buy. I think the most expensive was like $23 and you get some food and drink, and I think $10 goes to Game on Cancer as well. So definitely, if you're in Melbourne or if you want to make the trip, get there to Fortress Melbourne. It'll be amazing. But JT, thank you again, and we'll see you on the 25th.
Fun as always, Jim. Thank you. Have a good one.
Hello everybody, welcome back. Nuts and Bolts here again. Thanks so much to JT and PP Power for giving their time. It was just really cool talking to PP Power after the Comets won the ANZBL last week, and just seeing how they're feeling, and talking a little bit about how they're gonna how their expectations are, I guess, in P League. And like, they're quite realistic, because there is a lot of really good teams in the Premier League, and yeah, it's going to be a challenge for them. And I think their aim is right at the moment into just trying to stay into the Premier League and not come back down. Oh, sorry, but yes, sorry. I should have coughed before I did before we started recording, but that's okay.
That's okay. You can cough any time. It is allowed.
And that's the benefit of pre-recording. Now I can just cut that little bit out, or not, just to keep the realism happening. One of those.
We just have to have all the hard cuts through the podcast.
Yeah. So if it'll just randomly switch us from where we are on the display, it'll be good. But yes, how are you doing, Natty?
I'm not doing bad. Not doing bad. I'm still adjusting to winter, I think. Like, in the mornings, I'm like, oh, it's a bit chilly. But it's good. It's good. How about yourself?
Yeah, a bit the same. I'm a little bit chilly, but I get smart. You know, I think ahead, and I get my heater to turn on an hour before I get up. Use a little timer so I'm nice and warm.
That's thinking.
I know. I put it on for an hour or so as I'm going to bed so I can fall asleep, and then it turns itself off, so not running all night. And then, comes on when I need to get up.
Beautiful.
Keeps me nice and toasty warm, which is good because there's lots of really warm, really hot esports action going on. So let's jump into it, shall we?
Spicy.
Some spicy esports news. So we've got to go over the results from not just the ANZPL, but the ANZB League Grand Final as well. So that happened last Friday. Cairns Comets beat the Bundaberg Badgers, taking out the Season 3 of ANZBL and securing themselves an entry into the ANZPL as well. So there was supposed to be a playoff game between the last place team in the PL and the winner of the grand final, but unfortunately it looks like the last place team in the Premier League might be disbanding. So it means that the Comets will just get entry into the Premier League, which will be exciting because the history of the team is that they were actually in the Premier League in Season 1. None of the players that are currently with this roster played for them then, but the team themselves was in the Premier League. So it's exciting to see that team return again.
Yeah, cool history there.
And of course, the Badgers, like, they had a really good season coming through. I think they finished second in the end, pushed past the Wolverines to get in there, and but couldn't do it against Cairns. And if I'm being honest, like, the Badgers like to brawl, and the Comets could counter that pretty easily.
Yeah.
And that's reflected in the scoreline there with 4-1. And that's what the Comets beat the Badgers in the first round of the finals as well, 4-1. So it's great to see the Comets there, but the Badgers, they're a strong team, and they'll be back next season for the B League.
Yeah, I'm a little bit sad about the Badgers not making it, but you've got to give the props to the team that maybe took a bit more smarts onto the battlefield.
That's it. And I do think that they'll do well in the Premier League. I think they'll get the experience. It will be interesting to see if there are any roster changes over the break, though. So we'll check that out. Hopefully, because we talked a little bit about Dark Knight, who's a young, really good player, came second ranked in the fantasy league in terms of being a player. And through the grand final series, like he averaged, in the grand final, like the 5 games that they played there, averaged about 2,700 damage a game, which is pretty good.
Nice work from him.
That's it. The second game, of course, didn't end so well for my Perth Panthers, but I think it was well deserved by the Skorpions. They took the 4-1 victory, and head to the grand final themselves, which is exciting because the Skorpions have always been up there as a team, but this will be their first grand final appearance.
That is really exciting for them, and obviously huge congratulations. But I'm sorry your team didn't make it, Jim.
It's all right. There's always next season. We made it last season. I keep on wanting to say last year, but there's 2 seasons in a year, so we'll. But yeah, like it was slightly disappointing to see them beaten fairly convincingly there. But like the Skorpions deserve their spot. There's no doubt about that. JT, Napa, Knight, Russian, and the rest of them. There's just they're such a good team, and they've had such consistency in their roster. I will say the last game they did try their best to throw it, just because. And JT and I talked about it in the interview, but just the way it got down to one Panthers player left on cliff, and they were on the top of the cliff, and Lightning Man has just run because they were on defense trying to keep it alive, and he's gone down the side of the cliff and ended up stuck vertical on the side of the cliff, couldn't move. And so
oh no,
I think it was Knight has charged after him to try and get the kill, and has fallen down and fallen on his roof. And then Aussie's come in as well and fallen down face first and taken damage and killed himself.
Oh no!
And it was a little bit of comedy of error, but at that point there was 4 versus 1, so there was no doubt that it was going to happen. So it was probably just a little, like JT says in the interview, it's just like, send it, lads, let's get it.
Yeah. Have a bit of fun.
That's it. Yeah, just have a bit of fun, and it was definitely fun for watching. Like there was a little bit of hope there for a bit that maybe they were going to find a way to throw it, but no, they settled and went, yep, cool. No, we got this now, and even they ended up getting Knight the right way up, so that was good there too. But of course, that leads us to the finals bracket, which we can see right here. It's been done and dusted. After losing to the Sentinels in the upper bracket final, Skorpions now get to play them again in the grand final there. So, actually, I'm really excited about this because this has arguably been 2 of the best teams in the whole of the ANZPL. And I'm just super excited to see that. And of course, that does mean that the 25th of June, so that's the Saturday, not the Friday. It's the Saturday. We get to see the LAN final at Fortress Melbourne there. 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. The games are kicking off. I think the gates at Fortress Melbourne open at 6:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time, so you can get in and settle down and have a bit of a look. So that's going to be really cool. Only the second LAN grand final in ANZPL history. Going to be exciting.
That is very exciting, and very exciting for you as well.
Oh, I know. I booked my tickets. I'm going. I cannot wait. Like, not only is it going to be my first chance to see ANZPL Grand Final live, but it's also my first ever LAN event for esports. So I'm super excited.
This is the perfect starter event for you.
That's it, and just being able to meet all the players that I've been talking to over the last couple of years, and speak to Kevin Jay as well from Wargaming. It's going to be so much fun, and you can still get tickets as well. So it's a ticketed event. The base ticket doesn't cost you anything. You just need to get the ticket. So that's available if you have a check out World of Tanks ANZ social media. You'll be able to find a link there to get that. But there are also other packages. I think there's like a $10 package and like a $23 package that include like drinks and food if you get the most expensive one. And I believe with the $23 package, $10 of that goes to Game On Cancer as well. So
amazing.
Definitely worth it. And for $23, that's not much. That's the ticket I bought because I don't mind getting a bit of food and drink included in that as well.
You're making the trip over. Why not take the luxury package?
Hang the expense. Let's do it. Yeah.
So I have a question for you. Who's your pick?
My heart says Skorpions.
Yeah,
but the Sentinels are a tough team to go past. It's going to be so close. Like I know that the upper bracket final, the Sentinels kind of stomped the Skorpions, but it's going to be close. And I just hope that I think this game is going to be won in the map picks and bans. So it's going to be an interesting one. To see, and that's the problem when you're playing the Sentinels, is that they play well on such a wide variety of maps that they're hard to play on any map. So, but yeah, it's going to be an exciting game either way, and I hope it goes the distance.
Yeah. Oh, hopefully you wouldn't want to travel the whole way there, and it's like every game finishes in 2 seconds.
Yeah,
might be a little bit sad.
More time for catching up afterwards, though.
Oh, this is true. This is true. I hear you might be catching up with some of the Game On Oz folks in Melbourne.
Fingers crossed. I'm going to try to. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out, but I'm definitely going to try to. Like my flight gets in at stupid o'clock. Like Friday night Saturday morning. Yeah, my flight gets out, leaves Perth at about 6 o'clock Perth time. So what's that? That's 4 hours. So it's going to be close to midnight when I land in Melbourne.
Wow.
Local time. But yeah, I did the smart thing and booked my hotel for the day before, so I can just go straight to the hotel, sleep for a bit, then get up and I think just after lunchtime we'll try and arrange some stuff with the Game On Oz Melbourne crew, see if we can catch up, and then hang around Fortress Melbourne. And then my flight the next day leaves at 7 a.m. Melbourne time.
Oh my goodness!
I'm just sort of debating whether I sleep at all that night and just
stay up all night partying with the boys.
Yeah, that's it. Party through and then just go to the airport, get on the plane, and sleep on the plane.
I think that you should do it.
Sticky
is a person who won't be dealing with the hangover consequences of that.
the only thing, like, it's not the hangover that worries me, because like I'm a tank when it comes to drinking, and like if I need to stop, I will stop, and that's fine. But it's the tiredness that will get me. But yeah, definitely exciting. Looking forward to traveling over to Fortress Melbourne for the ANZPL Grand Final there. Cannot wait.
Amazing.
But that's not just the only esports going on in Australia at the moment. With the LCO's into its second week, and I got to say there was a couple of games this week that caught my eye results-wise. The first one I'd like to talk about is the Peace versus Mammoth game on Monday night. I don't think anybody expected it. Mammoth beat Peace. Tusks up, people. Tusks up.
Yeah. How insane is that? Like Mammoth, who typically do fall a bit lower on the ladder, seem to get up on Peace. So what? I know you ended up watching the game. What happened? What was the play-by-play?
Look, it just it was pretty even for most of it, but Mammoth managed. I think they got a Cloud Soul in the end. Sorry, I was stretching my brain now.
No, that's fine.
I only watched it last night, but I was stretching my brain. But I'm pretty sure Mammoth got a Cloud Soul and picked up 2 Barons. So they, I think that was what gave it to them. It was mostly even in the team fights. But yeah, and then they were just able to go in and obliterate the base. I think they did it pretty much in one go.
Amazing.
So.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Mammoth on that huge win over Peace. But the second game that I was interested in, because I reckon this is going to be a bit of a grand final preview, although we said that last season and Order came through and just smacked everybody. But the Pentanet versus Chiefs game, which, if I'm being honest, Chiefs controlled. Like their team fights were amazing. Their go signals were ridiculously good. They deserve to win that. They never gave PGG an inch, and it showed. It was done in under 26 minutes. This game was done. which,
Wow.
considering these are two of the strongest teams in LCO, that's a big statement by Chiefs there.
It is. It is.
It's but in terms of the standings right now, it does leave Chiefs as the only undefeated team. But with Dire Wolves and Pentanet on 3 wins and 1 loss apiece, so it's going to be an interesting sort of season, I think, if Mammoth can bring some performances like that. Dire Wolves are doing all right, so we'll see where they finish up. It's still only second week of the game, only 4 games done, but yeah, it's going to be exciting to see.
I do like that the 2 weeks we had Kanga in the first week through the curveball, and then we had Mammoth this week. So it does shape up to be exciting competition when you don't have just teams running away with it.
That's right. It does make it a lot more interesting when you see the just you see how the teams play, and those curveballs, I think, do make all the difference. I think Kanga beat Gravitas this week, so that's where their 1 wins come from. Sorry, just scrolling through the results. Kanga beat Gravitas. So Gravitas is the only team without a win at the moment. So that's a little sad, but not unexpected as well. They do have one of the weaker rosters in the LCO, but you never know. Like I say, it's still early on. We might be able to see some magic come out from them at some point.
Absolutely. One thing I like about esports is that you still have that puncher's chance. Like, even if you have a team that isn't the best funded or the most experienced, you can still, get a win here or there. So it's shaping up to be an exciting season.
And more LCO news. And I really like this next bit. So Rusty, who's one of the casters for the LCO, is working with the LCO to find oceanic talent for possible casting opportunities in the LCO. And I think that's just amazing, because like the teams themselves kind of have like their development and what they do in there, but I don't think there's anything really there for casters.
Yeah, it's really wonderful that Rusty, and I don't know what groundswell is behind this. I'm secretly hoping there's a bit of money maybe coming in from somewhere where they'll be able to support the new people coming in as well, to develop them, and paid opportunities in development and casting in Australia are thin on the ground. So this is just awesome.
Yep. So any ANZ, I did have a bit of a giggle when I saw this though, because like there's an important notes about there. Must be ANZ resident to apply. Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria preferred. So,
yeah, sorry, Jim, you and me, we have to move.
well, you know what? I was thinking of one of our community members here, Mercury. Mercury Cast, if you're looking for him. So he does, I know at the moment he's doing some LCO co-casting and doing calling that way as well. So like I was thinking of him, this could be an opportunity for him. But even like it's an ANZ call, but New Zealand don't get included in that as well. I understand the realities of it, and especially with the LCO casters being in the studio all together this season, or this split. Sorry, it does make sense that you want to, if you're going for a studio broadcast, you want them around there, so it's easy access.
That's something you can speak to. I think with the weekly show moving to be in person, it makes such a difference to the kind of content and energy you guys share when you're presenting.
It really does. And even watching the LCO broadcasts, like the different energy, being able to physically interact with people, it brings a different energy to the show.
It does. Oh, well, I hope they get some amazing candidates, and we get to see some really cool talent coming through the LCO casting. That's really exciting.
And last little bit of League of Legends news, although this is more sort of Riot news in general.
It is.
So Summer Games Fest has been going on over the last weekend, and in the Xbox Games showcase there was what I consider, look, personal feelings of Summer Games Fest aside, this is one of the biggest announcements for me. And it's
I think you and me both saw this and we're just like, oh, cool, something exciting for us. Not to say that there's nothing else exciting for us, but just this was peak, like really, really cool for the Riot community.
Yeah. So for those that hadn't seen it, basically Riot Games is coming to Games Pass, and and by that I mean that it's stuff like League of Legends is going to be on PC Games Pass. Wild Rift is going to be on mobile Games Pass, so you can do your cloud gaming. So basically, the platforms that these exist on, that's where they're going to be. So it's not like you're going to suddenly be able to play Valorant on the Xbox. It's still going to be a PC only thing. Yeah. But League of Legends Wild Rift, all champions unlocked. Valorant, all agents unlocked. Legends of Runeterra, Foundation card set unlocked. Teamfight Tactics, Select Little Legends unlocked. That's a crazy amount of content that you're getting unlocked for you through Games Pass.
Oh, it's insane. I think we were looking at the numbers earlier, but something like 140 characters in League of Legends over that now that you'll be getting access to with Game Pass. And it just blows my mind how much Microsoft and Game Pass are like spreading, like, connections with, all the stuff with Bethesda now, and then stuff with Riot Games, which I just never would have thought those two would have come together in a partnership like this. So it's just cool. It's very, very cool.
Yeah. The Riot Games thing to me is huge because, Microsoft own Bethesda now, and all the Activision Blizzard stuff is coming in there because Microsoft are going to own them, barring regulator hiccups. But the fact that they can arrange this with Riot Games, who are one of the bigger gaming companies in the world, it's crazy, and I can't wait for it. And it means for esports players that if you want to practice certain champions, you don't have to unlock them. You can just sign up to Games Pass and be able to just practice on whatever champion that you want.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is really good for people who are starting in these games because, normally you grind for hundreds of hours, get all your unlocks, or, feed money into the game to get access to all these characters. It's just really nice that you can just jump in, see your favorite pro playing a character, and you can be like, I want to play that character, and then just jump on and play them rather than having an extra financial barrier there to be able to, mimic and practice what the pros are doing.
Yeah. Part of me kind of hopes that there's like a staggered introduction of these champions and even the agents in Valorant, because I get decision anxiety when it comes to these games. Like I've played League of Legends once or twice, and if I started playing that for the first time and you showed me 140 different characters that I could pick from, I would be sitting there deer in the headlights.
What do I do?
Yeah, like I feel that there's something to be said for putting them on like a drip feed. So even if there's some sort of, I don't know, time-based thing or leveling-based thing where, oh, cool, you've played League of Legends for an hour, you've unlocked another character, sort of thing. So it's not a monetary barrier. It's maybe a time barrier or a skill barrier instead. Like, I don't mind that because it just, for new players, it would just mean that that you could get used to characters, and it would allow Riot to go, here's some of the easier champions to play first and then get into the harder ones.
Yeah, so I mean, at the moment, obviously the game has a tutorial, but I do wonder if maybe they will create a more robust tutorial with different challenges to work through for the different, character types or something like that. I agree. I think it would be a big overwhelm to have the screen of 140 plus characters and not really know where to start. So fingers crossed they do that. I must admit I am a little bit disappointed as the Teamfight Tactics player because we don't have any characters locked. It's all open. We just get a couple of cosmetic things, which is kind of nice, but also it's a two-sided coin there because we don't currently not restricted as much, so we don't get as much benefit.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely exciting times there. So moving on, this one Lukey Bangers pointed us towards because he's a big COD fan, and there was a COD League. Hang on, let me get my wording right. The 2022 COD League, not COB. I've got COD League Major 3 happened recently with the Seattle Surge beating the New York Subliners. And yeah, this is an NA league, so generally we try to focus on OCE leagues and sports. But the big thing about this one is that there was an Australian player in there, and I'm going to butcher his name, so please forgive me. Amr Pred Zulberi. So I'm just going to call him Pred from now on, just to.
Pred is his preferred name. His gaming name. So we'll go with that.
But he is an Australian player who has been playing with the Seattle Surge for a couple of years now, and with the Seattle Surge's win, he has become not only the first Australian player to lift the trophy, but the first APAC player to lift the trophy, which is amazing.
This is really cool news. I must admit, I don't follow COD that closely. And when Lukey Bangers, who is our Streamaholics host, pointed us to this article, we were just like, oh, that's so cool. Because I think, in Australia, we do occasionally hear about Australian players making it big. We certainly heard about Anna with Dota, winning the biggest prize pool ever for an Australian player. But, there wasn't much going on around Pred and how he went and how, momentous this really is for OCE that we're heading over to other regions and having lots of success. So it was very cool to read.
Yep. And especially that he's doing so well, because not only winning the final with the Seattle Surge, but he had the most kills in the Grand Final series by 12. And there was 173 kills that he had there. So that's incredible to be doing so well. And congratulations to Pred and the Seattle Surge for taking home the victory there.
Absolutely. And, just awesome that these opportunities are available. I always say I prefer if our Aussies can stay home and make the most of the opportunities here, but when they can achieve success overseas, that's incredible.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there's any COD League in Australia.
There is. I don't know if it's supported by the developer, like by COD, but we certainly do have leagues running through, like I'm going to say it wrong. It's either ESL or AEL run COD. There's definitely a bit of COD action here.
Yeah, that's good. At least there's some pathway there for the local players, and this is just it's proof to APAC and OCE players that you can make it over there. You can stick it out. Like it is hard, but you can make it.
Absolutely. I kind of like it as well that he made it, and we've had other OCE players make it internationally by being the larrikin and a little bit of a joke, like making a joke and having fun. But Pred seems to be taking it very seriously and performing at the top of the pack, which is awesome.
Awesome to see. And as well, over the weekend, ANZ HCS Pro Series 7 happened. So I'm going to show you this chart because it confused me for a while. And we had big discussions about what was happening here. So you can see the quarterfinals and right up until the winners final between Divine Mine and Chiefs. So Divine Mine took that out 3-0. And then we've gone to the grand final and the grand final reset. And initially we thought, oh, maybe something went wrong and they had to reset the game somehow. But eventually, what we kind of hit on was that it was a best of 3 series, and yeah, Chiefs reverse swept. So the grand finals reset is just their way of saying like tiebreaker set, you know.
Yeah. So one team had the opportunity. So Divine Mind, after the first matchup, had the opportunity to take it out, but Chiefs ended up taking out the final 2 matchups, which got them the championship, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting that like there were such dominant performances. Like Divine Mind won the first game 3-0, then Chiefs 3-1, and then Chiefs 3-0 again. So it's it's just interesting to me to see that there wasn't a 3-2. It wasn't like there wasn't even a more 3-1s there. It was like 2 3-0s and a 3-1. So both teams putting on some dominant displays than they wanted to, but Chiefs just pull out the reverse sweep and get those points to hopefully get them closer to that final at DreamHack Melbourne.
Yeah, another Melbourne LAN event coming up soon. It's I don't want to call it post-COVID world, but dealing with COVID LAN events is a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Can we say present COVID world?
Present COVID. I don't know. I don't. Somebody's got to come up with a better word for it, because I have no idea how to describe what's going on at the moment. We're still having thousands of cases a day, but it's fine.
That's it. Yeah. But yeah, can't wait to see that. And of course, the winner of the HCS event at DreamHack goes to the HCS Orlando. I don't. They did something strange. I don't think the Orlando one's a major, but there's another major event somewhere. But either way, whoever wins at DreamHack Melbourne gets to go to Orlando for the HCS event there.
And then they can go to Disneyland afterwards.
Hey, sorry, I just had a flashback to like every big sports in America, like when they won it and they'd get their like their post,
the celebratory speech afterwards.
That's it. Chiefs, you've just won HCS Orlando. What are you going to do? We're heading to Disneyland.
Yeah. My biggest memory of that is from Hot Shots, which is terrible. If anybody's seen that movie, it's a spoof of Top Gun, and they win the victory at the end. And the Charlie Sheen, who's playing the Tom Cruise character, gets asked, "What are you going to do next?"
I'm going to Disneyland, and then they had him a big bag of money. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. But yeah, congratulations to Chiefs on their win. Last little bit of news for tonight. You found this one, Natty, so I might let you talk about this, but I just think this is really, really cool.
Yeah, so one thing I really love in Australia is that we've got a lot of like grassroots high school kind of esports action happening through Meta and through Fuse. But this came across my feed today. Chief Operating Officer at Fuse Cup just shared that they are going to be running another Just Dance competition, which I didn't even know that they were doing, but they're doing an international esports event for Just Dance. And it's kicking off for Year 4 students soon. So they've just opened registrations.
That is so cool. And what I like about this as well is they've thought about it because this is kids. So like you do have to be a bit careful when you're doing events with kids, but they're doing it online via Microsoft Teams. So you don't even have to leave the house. You just do it in the safety of your home. And like lots of prizes. And what I also like as well is that they've chosen a game that for kids to play is an active game. So it's because like I love video games, but I also love getting active as well. That's why I play hockey as a weekend sport. Just because like I'm not particularly good at it, but it gets me out and moving, and that digital well-being is such an important thing to carry on as well, and know that there's life outside of video games, and if things are getting you down, just that little boost of adrenaline when you go outside and do a bit of exercise, even just going for a walk, it does make you feel better.
Yeah, oh, definitely. And as you've already pointed out there, including a lot of messaging around digital health, safety and well-being. So that's important messages for that group to be hearing. I think, you and me probably were on that cusp of growing up completely in a digital landscape, and things are ever evolving and changing. So we've got to give our kids as many tools as possible to deal with that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I think encouraging exercise in a fun way, but also a bit of friendly competition is good. So if any schools are interested, they can register up to 3 teams per school, and you can get involved. I think this is just a great little thing to encourage your students to enjoy some competitive fun and engage in digital stuff in a safe way. It's wonderful.
And as soon as this is over, I'm sending this to my sister so we can show my niece, because I think she really likes Just Dance. So right up there, we can see if her school's interested in getting into this.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, that's all the news we have for you for tonight. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks again to PP Power and JT for jumping in for the interviews. Thank you to Natty for once again coming along and giving us some good insights into esports. Love it. Love seeing everybody around. That I guess we will see everybody next week.
Fantastic to catch up with you again, Jim. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Yeah, we'll catch you next week.
Thank you so much for stopping by to watch this video. If you like what you're seeing, why not check out this video here? Or if you really like us, drop us a subscribe. And don't forget to like and comment as well. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.